Good afternoon. My name is Ted Berger. I work for the City of Chicago, and I'm here today to discuss my research through the Center for Homeland Defense and Security at the Naval Postgraduate School. Pause for 1 minute and consider a time when you were faced with a significant decision. And perhaps in this decision, you were unclear of what the circumstances surrounding that problem looked like. And perhaps you also experienced the constraints and pressures associated with time. And in this decision, because of the lacking clarity, perhaps it wasn't even clear what the options in front of you looked like, let alone how to choose the correct one. What you've heard me describe is what academics today may refer to as a crisis. But when you think about this decision that you made, perhaps you were not making that decision alone. Perhaps there were others that are supporting you. Or even perhaps you were a member of a team advising a senior decision maker on the choices they should make. What I'm describing for you today is the role of an advisor. And as we understand, in the crisis leadership literature domain, there's been plenty of focus on the principle and leadership in making those difficult decisions. But what are the factors surrounding that leader in the role of the advisor? My research explores the role of advisors and the process of advice in Homeland and national security. In today's post-9/11 era, we recognize that threats materialize in many different ways. We also recognize that natural disaster events like Hurricane Katrina, Superstorm Sandy, create difficult decisions for local, federal, and state-level decision makers. But we're also aware that in today's growing threat of terrorism, we recognize events like Paris and Brussels will change the paradigm for senior decision makers. These senior decision makers need to recognize that they don't face these decisions alone and in a vacuum. They have and should rely on a team of advisors to provide the right guidance when necessary. My research uses a case study methodology to examine the advice and understanding of practitioners in Homeland and national security and compare that to what academics have to say. I believe that a more firm understanding of existing social science research will contribute to a growing body of literature, helping rising stars as well as executive decision makers to make choices about the right types of advisory arrangements they want to surround themselves with. By looking at 3 individuals who have served as both a senior decision maker in their own right, but also a senior advisor to a chief executive, I hope to derive some recommendations and a framework that all of us at various levels of government can use and take back to our own organizations. The first case study looks at Tom Ridge, who served as our nation's first Secretary of Homeland Security. The second case study examines Robert Gates in his role as Secretary of Defense. And the third case study looks at Hillary Rodham Clinton's role as Secretary of State. Using memoirs and examining their own words and their own recommendations, we can derive a better understanding of how they both received advice through their own advisory arrangements, but also provided advice to a senior level decision maker, that being the President of the United States. I believe that an examination and a better understanding of the advice literature will also help us compare what the academic experts and social scientists, academics that exist in the world of public administration and political science, what they have to say about the advice process, and compare that against what practitioners in Homeland and national security have to offer. At the end of the day, my research hopes to shine a brighter light on the role that advisors play in the process of giving and receiving advice, particularly in this 21st century of Homeland and national security issues that we face. We recognize that in today's world of globalization and advancing technology at exponential rates, decision makers are faced with a new set of challenges. Those challenges exist at all levels of government, be it local, state, or federal. But we also know that the academic literature focused on leadership is strong, but perhaps the academic research on the role of the advisor could be strengthened, and that's what my research seeks to do. By examining the social science literature and deriving what is known already in the leadership literature about advisory arrangements, why it's so important to us, and what factors advisors should consider going forward, I hope to shine a brighter light on the role of an advisor so that all of us, be it a manager, a senior manager, or an executive decision maker, can better understand the importance and the necessity of competent advisory arrangements. It's my goal that folks at all levels of government can take a look at this project and better understand both how they can offer advice to a senior decision maker, but also how they can select individuals to surround them when faced with significant decisions. At the end of the day, I hope that advisors at all levels of government will understand their responsibilities as what some academics would describe a choice architect, because this is too important in homeland and national security to leave it to chance. There's an opportunity for all of us to increase our skills and our understanding of the role that advice plays in making significant decisions, particularly in the face of crisis. Thank you.